Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and I thought we'd take a look at the latest major app updates from both Apple and third-party developers for July 2023. We've had so many updates lately with iOS 16.5.1, iOS 16.6 betas, as well as iOS 17 developer betas and public beta, that we just haven't had time to take a look at the app updates, so I thought we'd take a look at that. And the first thing has to do with the App Store. Apple had a ruling against them from Epic Games, and Apple can now delay the ruling for 90 days from Epic Games that would force Apple to allow purchases of in-game content outside the App Store. This could go to a higher court now, as they've actually been able to delay it, but still doesn't answer the question if Apple will have third-party app stores or sideloading with iOS 17 due to EU rulings. So that's something we could see later on, maybe with iOS 17.1, but it seems Apple can delay that at least for now. Also, one thing I wanted to mention with iMessage is the UK government is apparently going to update its laws to force companies to break end-to-end encryption and allow access by the government. Apple has responded saying it would rather just remove iMessage and FaceTime altogether in the UK than comply with the law, making sure that the overall privacy and security is enforced. So I'm glad to see Apple take this stance, but this could be bad news for those that are actually in the UK, since WhatsApp has end-to-end encryption as well, and maybe it will leave fewer options for those that want to use their devices. Now, as far as new app updates, well, YouTube Premium actually gets an update, but not in a great way. YouTube Premium just received a price increase in the USA from $11.99 to $13.99. Also, if you're a student, the price goes up by $1 from $6.99 to $7.99, and if you pay yearly, the cost goes from $119.99 to $139.99. Music Premium goes up as well if you're using YouTube Music from $9.99 to $10.99, and the only plan that hasn't changed, it seems, is the Family Plan, which remains at $22.99 per month. So this is not great, but unfortunately that's what we're having to do if you want YouTube Premium. And it's also a similar story with Netflix. Some time ago, Netflix began to crack down on people sharing passwords, and doing this has not hurt the company, but rather gained them 6 million new subscribers, surprisingly. Many people thought it would actually hurt the company, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. Also, Netflix raised their prices as well, though, to $15.49 from $9.99 for their least expensive ad-free option. So if you're using the Netflix app, unfortunately the price is going to go up if you want it to be ad-free. Now, as I mentioned WhatsApp not too long ago, WhatsApp actually has some nice updates starting today. If we go to their WhatsApp blog, and on the WhatsApp blog, you can see new privacy features, silence unknown callers, and privacy checkup. Silence unknown callers is similar to what we have on iOS already, where it says it's designed to give you more privacy and control of your incoming calls. It helps to automatically screen out spam, scams, and calls from unknown people for increased protection. These calls will not ring on your phone, but will be visible in your call list, in case it turns out to be someone important. That, along with their privacy checkup, is now available. So make sure you're on the latest version of WhatsApp. You'll have privacy checkup where you can secure your private communication, make sure everything is secure with your password and more. I wanted to share a website with you, if you're not familiar with it already, called AppleDB. For those of you that follow my iOS updates or just different Apple updates, you have the option to see all of the latest devices and more right on this website. It's chronologically ordered and has information about every single one of them. So you can see new devices and new releases with iOS 16.6 RC, 16.5.1c, the security response update, as well as iOS 17 Beta 3. All of this information is available, and it's super easy just to take a look at what's new. So if you want to see that, I'll be sure to link it in the description, even with the Beats Studio Pro that released yesterday. Lately, there's been an online debate as to what's better, Apple Maps or Google Maps. I've been using both recently. I use both on Apple CarPlay, and I find that Apple Maps looks better and has better guidance as far as navigation, but I find that Google Maps is typically more accurate. So I go back and forth, but I try to use Apple Maps as I really like the way it looks and the way it actually tells you where to go. For example, it will say, go through this stop sign and turn right at the next stop sign. Or the same is true with a stoplight. Turn right at this stoplight and turn left at the next stop sign. It has really great guidance for that, or stay in the left 2 lanes, I find it's better in that sense, and it looks better. But Google Maps, again, seems to be more accurate with traffic and more. Let me know which one you like in the comments below, and if you maybe would like to see a comparison of those. Now, Threads is something I've been using back and forth with Twitter lately, and I find that I do like it, but it's lacking quite a few features. However, it recently had a big update, and if we go into Threads, you can see from one of the developers here, Cameron Roth, here's the latest update with translations, a follow tab on activity feed, subscribe to unfollowed users, activity feed scrolling, plus loading improvements, follow plus on thread replies, tappable reposter labels, open the Instagram follower list, a few small crash fixes, as well as more binary size cuts and a handful of other small bug fixes. So they've updated this. It seems they're working on it rapidly. And of course, if you want to follow me, you can do that by clicking the link in the description. I'll leave it there and just check it out here. So I use this. I probably will still use Twitter more at this point, as it seems I have more followers right now, but I go back and forth between that and all of the other recent social media with Blue Sky, Ivory, and more. There's an app called Spectre, which is now free, which allows for long exposures of the camera on iPhone. Spectre's from the developer of Halide, which is a popular app for the camera, and it's now offering this app for free. Now, the Pro version does give you a few extra things, such as a 5, 9, 15, and 30-second exposure option, as well as a special Spectre Pro icon. Other than that, though, you can use the general app for free now and try it out for yourself. I recently heard about this, so I'll be trying it out. Now, if you're someone that uses TikTok, they recently announced that they're going to be rolling out passkey support if you want to log in. So maybe you're opening up TikTok and you want to log in, set up and sign in. You'll now be able to do that with passkey support. They're rolling this out slowly, and if we take a look at their webpage where they talked about it, you'll see here where it says passkeys for login, the more secure way to log into your TikTok account. If you scroll down, it talks about where it will be available and when. So you'll see here it says we will begin rolling out passkeys for iOS in certain regions, starting with Asia, Africa, Australia, and South America beginning this month, and anticipate expanding it in geographies and operating systems over time. So it's great to see this roll out in different areas. Hopefully we'll have it around the world very soon, as it makes logging in very secure and very simple. And the same thing is coming soon to 1Password. I've been using 1Password as a password manager for a long time. I don't have it here, as I just sort of search for most of my apps, but you'll see if I search for 1Password, you'll see the option here. I use this to manage many of my passwords, and it makes it super simple. And on their website, you can see it says passkeys in iOS 17. Watch a sneak peek at what's coming to 1Password for iOS. So they have a YouTube video showing the latest features coming soon with iOS 17, and I can't wait for passkeys to be available for this. It will make it so much easier to log in, and if you want to try it out, I'll link it in the description where you'll have a trial. So it's something I definitely recommend. I use it all the time, and it's super secure. Now, if you're using the Tesla app, maybe you have a Tesla and you want to actually use this, there's something that's in it that's coming very soon, I hope, and that's AirPlay. Within the app itself, it has AirPlay capability, meaning maybe we'll see that on the screens with a Tesla update soon in a Model 3 or a Model Y, Model S, or X. So hopefully we'll see that soon. I don't think we'll have CarPlay, but I think this is a good start where we can project maybe our content from our iPhone to our Tesla. So that's something that would be great if we'll have that very soon. Now, there's some very exciting updates, at least for me, with Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro. Now, if you use Final Cut Pro on iPad, this is a major update, and you'll see I have to update mine yet, but a lot of these new features on Final Cut Pro for iPad 1.1 add functionality we have on the Mac. For example, turning snapping on and off using the keyboard shortcut letter N, or turning skimming on and off using the keyboard shortcut letter S, or turn audio skimming on and off. Many different things that we need, as well as fixing bugs and improving overall stability. So that's great. Be sure to update yours if you haven't already. Now, they've also updated the same thing on Mac. Mac gets a bunch of bug fixes, so let me show you that. And we can see on their release notes here, new in Final Cut Pro 10.6.7. So they've addressed a lot of different issues, addressing issues where audio effects would not be reset during playback. They've fixed some issues with FCP XML, also resolved an issue where voice isolation amount slider would snap to 0 when trying to set a value of less than 7%. Nice updates that really fix some issues we've had. We thought maybe they would be abandoning this more and more, but it seems like they're updating it. The same is true with Apple's Motion, where it improves stability with FX Plug 4 plugins, as well as stability when dragging a group that contains an FX Plug plugin to the Favorites folder. Also, it improves performance when using the sequence text behavior with anchor point set to line. The same is true with Compressor. Compressor 4.6.5 includes updates for things such as change the settings and location sidebar to now be resized when the inspector is open. It also improves reliability when processing 422-based H.264 media on Mac computers with Apple Silicon, and addresses an issue of the color space of a photo JPEG source where it was incorrect when the color space was set to automatic. So nice updates. Didn't know some of those things needed to be fixed, but they've been resolved. Also, one other thing I wanted to mention on Mac is that VMware Fusion, which allows you to use your Mac as maybe a virtual machine and run Windows on it, has now been updated for Apple Silicon, where Windows 11 will now use hardware acceleration. So they're showing some of that here, as you can see, powering up your Macs with Apple Silicon. So it's a preview where you can try it out, and it has full 3D acceleration on Windows 11 for ARM. So this is great. You have that option here if you're running that, and it should perform a little bit better. Again, it's an early preview, but at least they're updating it to use that sort of hardware acceleration. Still, it's not as good as if maybe you had an NVIDIA video card, an RTX 4090 or something like that, but it's still much better than it was before. Let me know any other updates you'd like me to cover in these videos, and if you've updated everything, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Of course, I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.